So most coaching and service-based businesses think that just because their upsell conversion rate is low, that the offer is wrong, or they need to change the pricing, or they need to change components of it to make sure that it's attractive enough. The reality is, if somebody already trusts you enough to be in your program, to give extra discretionary effort to working with you, the reality is they should probably be ready to say yes to just about anything you have coming next. Of course, it's on you to make sure that what you have next is the right fit for them. But most of the time, it's not going to be the offer. It's not going to be the price point. It's going to be something else, which we're going to get into in this video today. So if it's not the offer, what is it? The assumption is that everybody thinks that strong results, just because a client came into an intro offer, you sold them an something upfront for a coaching or service-based offer, maybe SaaS, maybe consulting, and they got great results. They're like, wow, okay, this is great, this is awesome, this is everything I expected. A lot of people think that just because you got that means that the client is going to say yes to whatever comes next, to a referral ask, to a upsell, to a continuation. But that's not the case, because the results are not the trigger. The belief is, and I've gotten into this in a couple other videos, so we're not going to go too far into it today, but most people will wait to pitch something like continuation, upsells, referrals, till the very end of their container. But you want to pitch it when the belief that they will achieve results is the highest, not when the results objectively look the greatest. Because by this time, they're sitting there thinking, what's next? What am I doing after this? But also thinking, did I even get everything I was promised during the sales call? So when to pitch your upsell and how you pitch your upsell are the two biggest things that will deter somebody from saying yes. And so I like to break it down into 4 different pieces of readiness criteria, and we're going to go through each of these. Number 1, they've hit a real defined outcome, meaning that they have achieved something that you told them that they would achieve. Not, wow, this is a result that you got, and I'm really excited and proud that you got it, but we didn't really talk about it, or I didn't intentionally design this as a promise in the sales offer. That doesn't count, because you can't 100% expect them to attribute that to you. But if it's something that you promised, that you said, yes, expect to do this, this is what you're going to get, and you not only got that, but then you over-delivered on it, that is hitting a real defined outcome. Number 2, they're showing up consistently. So another way to put this is they value the relationship with you. They put their effort into showing up to calls, to communication with you in whatever form, to make sure that they continue seeing results. 3, trust is strong and drama is low. They are not a, hellion client. They respect your time. They value your time. And 4, they have a clear next problem that your offer solves. One of the biggest mistakes I see so many, especially founder-led coaching and service-based offers making, is doing something like saying, cool, this upsell offer or this ascension offer or this next step or phase 2 or whatever you're calling it, this is really, really great because it's going to help you keep doing X, Y, Z. Or this thing that you started in the program for, you started in this offer for, we've gotten part of the way there, but this other thing over here is really going to get you there. The problem with that is that people are sitting there thinking, well, if you told me I was going to get this in the first offer, and now you're telling me that, I need this other thing to actually get it, what stop you then from saying, when I do this other thing, I'm not going to need something else? So it has to be a clear next problem, not something, something novel. It has to be something novel, has to be something different, has to be a problem that ideally, it's a problem that they only now experience or that they can only now relate to because they've already solved the problems that they came into your initial offer seeking to get solutions for. That is your perfect upsell offer. So then what are you going to do? I like to divide it up into 3 paths. And I'm going to show you in a second how to do this tactically inside your offer. But I like to divide it up into 3 paths. Around the midpoint of your program, and I'll get into that in a second, I like to have I simply call a mid-program review. This can be true for a consulting offer, for a SaaS offer, service-based, coaching, anything, online business. And essentially what you're going to do is you're going to divvy every client up either before or during this call into one of 3 paths. One is that all 4 of those things we just went through are true, in which case you can have the upsell conversation. And so that could look something like, hey, Sally, listen, really proud of all the results you've gotten so far. Really excited to see you continue crushing it in this XYZ program, container, whatever. But listen, you're probably sitting here thinking, hey, problem X and problem Y that you came into this offer to solve, they're kind of already solved, or we're already well on our way to getting there, right? And you're probably already starting to think about, well, what about this thing over here? What about this next problem, which you only are really starting to think about because we've gotten so many results inside of what we've already done so far. So what I'd love to do is actually just walk you through kind of what the next step looks like for founders in your position, our best clients that are looking to solve X problem and Y problem, but just need kind of a different set of solutions, different set of help for that. Can I walk you through with that for 5 minutes, right? That is your continuation offer or your upsell offer kind of narrative, how you connect the two of your current container and your next container, and then you have the pitch, and then you plant the seed, right? The second path is that they're not quite ready, but they're still a fit for the continuation offer, or sorry, for the upsell offer. So what you're going to do is something like this. Hey Sally, listen, super proud, super excited of the results you've gotten so far. Can't wait to see you continue to crush it. I tell you what though, just to be completely honest with you, there's a couple things, just X and Y, that I would really, really love to see and make sure that you continue to hit, or that you do hit inside of the next 2 months, 3 months, whatever we have left together. Because again, A, I want to make sure that you get everything you were promised when you came into this program, but also B, just to be completely honest, transparently, slightly selfish here with you for a second, our best clients who crush it and get X and Y and Z results, like I know you've seen other clients get, usually by this point in the program, they're starting to focus on these things. So we really want to make sure we can focus on these things. That way you get everything you need out of this. And then also we can continue talking, or also then we can start talking about then what it looks like to have our support longer term to solve X and Y and Z problems, which are probably going to start popping up if they haven't already. And so that you're much more gently introducing the idea of the next step, the next offer, but you're also indicating very clearly what you need, what you want from them to achieve out of the rest of the thing. And the way that it comes off is so much more beneficial to the client, beneficial to their progress, right? And I even called it out, I'm gonna be transparently selfish here for a second, right? It's like that human component of it. It can become really, really powerful. And so then the last part is, of course, they're not fit for an upsell. And so that would be something like, hey Sally, listen, super excited, proud of all the progress you've gotten so far. I tell you what I would love to do is sit down for just a couple of minutes and figure out what would a really strong end to this program, to the next 2 to 3 months that we're working together still. What would that look like? I know when you came in, you were really focused on getting X and Y and Z. Let's put together a plan on how we can make sure that that happens within the next couple of months, right? And so you're just designing what a strong ending looks like. So few offers, coaching, service, consulting, SaaS, sit down and actually intentionally, whether with the client or just internally, decide or craft that particular path. Most of them just wait until 80, 90, even 99% of the way through the offer. And then they're like, oh, wait, we should probably upsell or try and pitch the upsell. Maybe we get them in, maybe we don't, or try and pitch the referral, You be intentional about it, because oftentimes, honestly, the bare minimum that I like to see is that 1 out of 5 clients that come into your offer are upselling or continuing the same offer or upselling into another one. And so if you're not at that rate, start thinking about something like this, implementing something like this. Now, how do you do it? Mid-program review, like I said, usually about halfway through. I like to say about 30 to 50% of the way through. And there's 3 steps to the call. It's not a normal client success call. It's not a normal delivery fulfillment call. It's something that I actually love when people schedule this like during onboarding. It's like, hey, we're going to make sure you get results. And one of the ways we do that is we're scheduling this call like 3 or 6 months out, or whatever halfway through your container is. To say, listen, we're going to make sure everything's on track. So it's like you can phrase it as a progress call or something. And you're going to do 3 things. One is surface the progress that the client has stopped seeing. And this is so important to do before any sort of upsell, continuation, pitch, referral pitch, anything. Because the reality is the wins that the client saw during week 2, week 3, week 4, by this time, they've completely normalized it. It's just a normal freaking Tuesday to them, right? But back in week 2, week 3, week 4, these wins were like, oh my God, this is amazing. I can't believe I did this. Like, wow, this is incredible, right? Ideally. They've completely normalized it by now. And so you want to bring those up. You want to kind of how, of course, in sales calls and things like that, we paint the picture of really how crappy it is in order for them to see, right, widen the gap, as they say. That's what we're doing essentially here, is we're widening the gap to get them to understand really how far they've come inside of this container. And then the second is identifying the gaps before they become problems. You've hopefully been through enough seasons of working with clients and enough clients in your offer, your programs, your business, whatever, to know, based on the client's behaviors, based on clients' current results, et cetera, what other issues, or what, if any, could be coming up based on that data in the next weeks and next months. And then you stop them before they become issues, right? And you should be doing this regardless throughout your client journey, but it's a fine place to do it here as well. And then the third is opening the door to what comes next, naturally, in one of the 3 ways that we just mentioned. And then this is where the readiness check happens for every single client, which we went over. So one more note on this is the reframe of kind of asking at the end, because I get I wouldn't say objections on this. I get a lot of questions, let's put it this way, on this in terms of working with the teams and businesses that I work with. And it's like, listen, we ask for it at the end because that's when results look the best. And People will give you their discretionary time, which is what you were asking for. You were asking for them to take time out of their day to consider sending you a referral, upselling into another thing, and considering spending more of their money with you. Consider continuing in the same thing. Maybe it's just something as simple as leaving you a testimonial. It is discretionary effort that they do not have to give you. They're not obliged to give you. They didn't pay for it to give you. It's completely theirs. You're asking them to give you discretionary effort. That will reward you. That will come off and give you a benefit if you can ask them to do that when their belief that they will achieve the results is the greatest, not when the results themselves objectively look the greatest. So many people argue and wait till the end, and they're like, that's when they're going to be most satisfied. That's when they're going to be, everything is good. Everything is we got them the results. Well, for many of you, unfortunately, the reality is, because of the culture, the online business culture, sales culture that we live in, the reality is very few, if any, of the clients at the very end of offers are looking back at the sales call and thinking, wow, I got everything I was promised. Because what we're taught to do is over embellish, to imply things that we're going to do for the client that really in the fine print is not actually there. We don't actually do, which I can make a whole other video on, and I have made whole other videos on, and will continue to make whole other videos on. But that is completely unscalable. But for this particular reason, because you get people at the very end of your offer who are sitting there looking like, I didn't even get everything I was promised in this. Why in the world would I consider doing something else? Why in the world would I also consider referring anybody to this when they're going to be made the same promises that I was made, and they're not going to get them either? And my reputation isn't going to increase with this other person because they're just going to be screwed over just like I was. And so the point I'm trying to make with this is, you ask when the belief is greatest. And usually this is going to be in those first couple of weeks, first couple of months, when somebody has a win, when somebody feels a piece of discretionary effort from you, when it's I like to call it an unmarketed delivery moment, something that's really grand that you knew you were going to do all along, but was completely unexpected on their behalf. Super powerful. Moments like that are perfect times to ask for upsells, or to start to plant seeds for upsells, ask for referrals, ask for testimonials, et cetera. So here's the system. You run the mid-program review at around 30 to 50% of the way through. You score them on the 4 criteria, and then you take the prescribed action, one of those 3 paths, every single time, and you can do this without the founder. And the client success team, and this is the system that your client success team will run, and it's not a conversation, it's not a reputational thing that depends on the founder, it's a system. And again, this is just the last thing I'll mention is, for even 1 out of 10 clients, again, like I said, usually 1 out of 5 is my benchmark of people that are either purchasing the same offer again to continue getting support, or upselling into a different offer that's at least twice as high of a margin, so that way you make more profit on the clients that you already have. But let's even just back it up from there. 1 out of 10 clients buying a $20,000 upsell. Let's say if your initial program is $10K, you buy a $20K upsell. That's $2,000 in additional revenue, additional LTV for every single client that you close, because you take the $20K, you divide it by 10, $2K, split across each of the 10 clients in that group. You're essentially making $12,000 on a client who is only paying you 10. That is how you increase revenue and profit at scale. It's not running more ads. It's not building out more sales teams and more funnels and always making content and getting people in on the front end and just running this hamster wheel. It's making more profit from every client you close. It's making the clients you already worked so hard and spent so much money to close worth more to your business. So if you would like a personalized audit done by myself, going over exactly what you can be doing inside of your business, not anybody else's, to make more profit from every client you close and to stop losing clients on the back end, comment the word audit below and I will send it over.